Download the AllStar app. Make your picks for UFC fights, challenge your friends, level up and win prizes. Link in description. Get it now. Main event, UFC St. Louis, a heavyweight bout between Derrick Lewis and Rodrigo Nascimento. Derrick Lewis, the Black Beast. It's hard to be mad at, a Derrick Lewis fight. You know what I mean? Because Derrick Lewis, you know what he's going to come in to do, right? He's going to come in to knock your head off so he can celebrate in front of you and then take his pants off.
There's only one Derrick Lewis fight you can be mad at. Yeah. One of the worst fights of all time.
One, the Ngannou fight. Yeah, right, that's right. If you break the tail of the tape or whatever you want to call it, both the guys are... it's the odds are very close. It's Derrick Lewis minus 165, and then Nascimento is plus 135. Nascimento, most likely people don't even know who the hell he is.
I think so, yeah.
Right, but he's fought a while in the UFC. Derrick Lewis, he's coming off a loss. Nascimento's on a 3-fight win streak.
Yeah,
there's a huge difference. Derrick Lewis is 39 years old.
Yeah,
Nascimento's 31. Both weigh in right at the limit. They're both very similar in height. Nascimento's 1 inch longer reach. So let's jump into Derrick Lewis and his history.
Just with Derrick Lewis and everything. Obviously, he's on a losing streak, or for the most part, I know he had that one flying knockout knee or whatever. Yeah. So I think, if he gets daring, that'll be great.
Yeah, but I think that's what he needs to do.
Yeah. But otherwise...
So, Derrick Lewis, 27-12 record, 1 no contest. We mentioned all the other stuff earlier.
Yeah.
Let's see. His last fight was wrestle-fucked by Jailton Almeida, who wrestle-fucks everybody.
Yeah.
But luckily, crazy thing about that fight is that he didn't submit him.
Oh, yeah.
And it was 5 rounds. That's nuts, dude. It's like, is Almeida's jiu-jitsu that good, or... Derrick Lewis is just, you can't submit him.
I think Lewis he's the king of just stand up, right?
Yeah.
So,
but the thing is, you know who submitted him? Daniel Cormier submitted him.
Oh, yeah?
Remember in the title fight?
Oh, yeah.
Rear naked choke. So if Daniel Cormier can submit Derrick Lewis, how come Jailton Almeida wasn't able to submit him? That's the question I have, right? But like you said, the Marcus de Lima, the flying knee to the ground. That was a beautiful fight.
But then before that, the fight before that, he got subbed, right?
He got subbed, arm triangle. Then he got knocked out by Pavlovich, who's the nut. And then Tai Tuivasa knocked him out before that. And then he won against Chris Daukaus, lost, got knocked out by Cyril Gane. Dude, you could tell Derrick Lewis doesn't say no to fights.
Yeah.
Because he just fights everybody.
Yeah. He just goes, okay.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, like the only time he's been submitted is Daniel Cormier, rear naked choke.
And then the recent one, right?
And then the recent. No, what recent one? The arm triangle. Yeah,
the arm triangle.
Spivak.
Yeah.
So he's only been submitted twice. Nascimento. Let's look at Nascimento because nobody knows who he is.
He won a bunch by sub, I thought.
I don't know.
Did he?
I'm looking at it right now. Nascimento, 11-1 record, 31 years old, 3-fight win streak. Who has he beaten? He's beaten 2 straight split decision wins. And then a unanimous decision win against Dante Mays.
Okay, maybe.
Ilya Latifi. Latifi. You know him? Latifi?
I know that name.
He's the Swedish guy.
Yeah.
Big, like a box-shaped guy. Tanner Boser. He beat Tanner Boser by split. And then before that, one of his fights went to a no contest. Why is that? I don't know. It doesn't say why it wasn't no contest. Most likely something happened, maybe with steroids or something. I don't know. Then he lost to Daukaus by knockout. Then he beat Dante Mays twice? What the hell? Why did he fight twice in the UFC against Dante Mays? He submitted him in the first fight.
Yeah.
And then just beat him again by decision. What the? Like, why?
It's interesting because, I know his last 2 fights were... Obviously, last 3 were wins. Mm-hmm. The last 2 were split decision wins, though.
I'm taking Derrick Lewis by knockout.
To be honest, I think the kind of not that he hasn't fought good guys and everything. He's beaten good guys, but Derrick Lewis has fought at the top of the division for so long. He's fought such good guys. He has this weird anti-jiu-jitsu that he's been able to, like, he does though, right?
Yeah, he does.
You can't call it grappling. It's anti-grappling that he has.
He's
you
like
know?
that hand that comes out the grave and just like reaches. That's him. That's his jiu-jitsu, whatever that's called.
Yeah, he has the force, man. You know,
He's Darth Vader, right?
Yeah,
he's Darth Vader.
So I feel like, for the most part, he should be able to negate Nascimento's grappling. I don't know. I kind of just, it's also just hard to not want Derrick Lewis to win.
Yeah, because you want to see like what happens afterwards.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's why they put this fight on this card, is because it's almost like, let's get Derrick Lewis back on the winning ways in front of a crowd, main event. People are gonna love it. Nobody dislikes Derrick Lewis.
Yeah.
Right. It's very rare to see. And he's just, and the thing about Derrick Lewis is he's just being him.
Yeah.
And everybody, and you enjoy it, right?
It's not like Nascimento is steamrolling through people and not highly, you know, top of the division people either. So it's like, even though obviously Lewis is like had a bad streak, it's against very high level people. Yeah. So I see Lewis finding the, you know, that touch of death, uppercut or something at some point.
I just don't, you know, the thing that could also happen in this fight is that Lewis comes in and he's just not feeling it. We've seen him have fights where he's just like,
Yeah.
Like,
he's just like,
I might not win this one. You know, like you see it, you know, it's
so
weird.
Funny,
right?
man. Like it's like it's super real, honestly.
Yeah.
Like and that's the thing with like Lewis. That's like, it is a bit special. It's like he could go in there and honestly kill people, right? But then sometimes he's just showing up and he's just like,
today's not the day for him. You know, he's just like, man,
I don't really feel like fighting.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
And it's in the middle of the fight. You can see it like,
like he just switches off.
Yeah,
he's just like,
it's very odd. Like, I wonder where that comes from, and like, has that always been an issue for him? Maybe in fights, because
maybe later. I don't know. Maybe in this last little bit, just because he's made his name.
Yeah,
he's making money. You know, the whole satin sheet thing.
Well, if Nascimento goes in there and knocks out Derrick Lewis, then Derrick Lewis he's on his way out. Yeah. Basically, he's just like, fuck, man, I'm making my money. He could go to bare knuckle boxing. He could do all kinds of shit like that's outside of just regular fighting, and you don't have to go through the rigorous training of MMA, right? Because that's the worst part of most fighters. That's what they hate the most, is just how like taxing the camps are.
The camps are so taxing. And then sometimes the fights don't even happen. You've been in camp and the fights don't happen. You don't get paid for it.
If you don't have sympathy for fighters in that aspect, I don't know what kind of person you are. Like, you never had a job. You never worked for money. Like, you never chased after something.
Can you imagine? Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But imagine if you had a job and, you know, you were given a project, but you only got paid if the project was completed and you did 99% of the project.
And then all of a sudden someone just comes in and says, hey, the project's done.
Yeah. And you don't get paid. Anymore. Yeah. We don't need this anymore. Yeah. And you don't get paid.
Yeah. And then you got another project.
Yeah.
Oh, like, but 3 weeks later.
Yeah. Oh, but you know, it's murder, man. It's
crazy. Yeah. This sport is the nuttiest sport in the world, and that's why I love it, and that's why I don't even watch other sports anymore. I grew up playing and watching all sports pretty much: baseball, basketball, football, and whatever else I played. Right, wrestling, even did wrestling for a little bit, and like just knowing like what happens in this sport and like understanding like the variables and everything. It's like there's no time for anything else to watch.
Yeah.
Because even just watching the UFC is a job. But anyways, Derrick Lewis by knockout, first round. If Nascimento wins, it will be by decision. Or Derrick Lewis just gives up and lets him win.
Oh, man. I want to see a Derrick Lewis knockout. I really do. And then some nuttiness.
But the guy that he lost to, the only loss he has in the UFC, is against a guy
Nascimento.
that has knockout power.
Yeah.
Which is Chris Dawkins, right?
Yeah.
And he got slept by him 45 seconds. I think that could possibly happen again.
I think that might be I think that might be foreshadowing.